Time is on my side. I'm PG, I'm chillin', and in this video I'm gonna pick the best hip hop album from each year in the 2010s decade, so 2010, 2011, 2012, so on and so forth until 2019. With the power of my memory, aka Google, I will be showing a list of the albums in that particular year, and then I will choose some runner-ups, and I'll choose obviously the best. And feel free to play along or pick along with me and decide which album you think is the best. Let me know your thoughts and feedback on what you think are the best album in each year. Let me know in the comment section below. If you're returning back to my channel and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you like the video, which I'm sure you will. And now let's take a little bit of time to hop back in a time machine to go back to that decade so long ago where, I didn't have these grayish whiskers in my beard. And yeah, don't get old. So starting off with the year 2010, I already have my pick in mind, but let's just go along, shall we, and see this list of albums that Google has provided. The albums that came out in 2010, we have some interesting debuts as well. We have Big Boi's debut solo studio album and Sir Lucius Left Foot. We also have Teflon Don, Rick Ross's debut album, and of course, debut album of Drake, Thank Me Later. There's a good year for hip hop. To look at these albums. We also saw some great underground work. Rock Marciano, yep, his debut album right there. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because I didn't really get into the weeds of underground hip hop until later on in this decade. But of course, I'm aware of guys like a Rock Marciano, Sky Zoo also with the album Live from the Tape Deck. Not only that, but we have Currency, my guy, who I got into in college with Pilot Talk 1 and 2. We also have iconic mixtape Kush and Orange Juice by Wiz Khalifa. Other albums that I see here that are great: Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 2, Eminem, of course, with Recovery, T.I.'s No Mercy, Freddie Gibbs' debut as well, and Lil Wayne's I Am Not a Human Being, and Mac Miller with a debut, I believe debut mixtape, and Kids. But overall, I mean, let's just cut to the chase here. Oh, we also have Nicki Minaj's debut, Pink Friday. So 2010 is a good year for debuts. Like I said, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Big Boi's solo career, and then Rock Marciano, Rick Ross. Runner-ups being The Roots, How I Got Over, Damian Marley and Nas's collab, Distant Relatives, and I mean, Thank Me Later was good, but I wouldn't put it at that level of those two. And Big Boi's Sir Lucius Left Foot, of course, can't go unnoticed. A lot of praise for that recently. For some reason, I've been seeing that being tossed around in the sphere of reviewing. But anyways, this is a quick one. I just want to see the landscape of hip hop in this year. But overall, it's gonna go to this juggernaut that none of these albums are gonna defeat, and that is Kanye West, My Big Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Still go back to it today. Go back to it all the time, every year. One of Kanye's best albums for sure. If you want to see how I feel about Kanye's albums, I did put a video out recently ranking Kanye's albums with my review style. So please check that out. I put that out a week or two ago at the time of this video being recorded. So yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the best hip hop album in 2010. Moving on to 2011, pretty interesting year for hip hop. I'm looking at it right now. Obviously, we have two of the biggest guys in hip hop, Watch the Throne with Kanye and Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Section 80. We have Big Crit's Return of Forever, The Undone by the Roots were they've been on a roll. Shout out to the Roots. Danny Brown's Triple X, Drake's sophomore album, considered his best by a lot. Take Care, Common, The Dreamer, The Believer. That's one I'm gonna have to think a little bit about. It was a good year. We had the Carter 4 as well. We had Bad Meets Evil, Hell the Sequel. That's Eminem and Royce da 5'9". Some good underground ones too. Stack Selecta, a great producer. The Game's, the Red Album. I wouldn't say there's a lot of amazing, but there's a lot of good albums in this year as I'm looking through it. Schoolboy Q's Setbacks, Wally's Ambition. That's to me maybe the most underrated album in this whole list. And then we have Lupe Fiasco's. Some would call it a fiasco, this album, but I think Lasers was pretty good. It's his most mainstream and accessible album for sure. But looking at this list, hopefully I didn't forget anybody. Covert Coup, great mixtape. But the best album of this year, there's a few candidates here. I'd say runner-ups for sure would be Section 80. Of course, A$AP Rocky's Live Love ASAP. I really like Common's The Dreamer, The Believer album. I had that on repeat a lot. Oh my god, I forgot about Goblin and Dr. Lecter. But these aren't really like albums. These are just kind of like independent projects, we'll call it. But yeah. Yeah, so to me, now that I've matured and listened to more guys like a Danny Brown, I'd put ASAP Rocky's Live Love ASAP as a runner-up, Section 8 a runner-up, Triple X as a runner-up, Common's The Dream of the Believer, honestly, and Wally's The Ambition. Like I said, a lot of good, great, but to me, the one is, and I'm not saying I go back to it like religiously, but I gotta give it to Drake's sophomore and widely considered classic, and that is Take Care. High quality singing and rapping from Drake. Pick whichever lane you like Drake in, no matter what. Some of his best cuts at each of those respective talents exist on this album. So 2011, going with Drake's Take Care. Basic pick, like 2010, but you can't argue with greatness. 2012, again, a lot of these are just going to be, maybe painfully obvious, but let's go through it. We have Life is Good by Nas. Good album. Absol's Control System. Sky Zoo, A Dream Deferred. That's a really good album. I didn't listen to that until later on in college, but Sky Zoo is a very underrated underground rapper, lyricist. He's something. He's special. Who could forget Killer Mike's rap music? That was really good. Very well critically acclaimed and praised. Habits and Contradictions, another one. That's Schoolboy Q's catalog. Yeah, some good albums in here, man. Dreams and Nightmares. That's Meek Mill's debut album after his mixtape series, Dream Chasers. Yeah, and who could forget the Slaughterhouse, Welcome to Our House. But I mean, I'm not saying a lot of like strong candidates besides the one that's obvious. We have Rick Ross's God Forgives and I Don't, and we have Anthony Fantano. Anthony Fantano would have, I don't know if he's done a video like this, but I'm sure he's had a internal struggle choosing between Death Grips, The Money Story, which I'm not into Death Grips. I can't get. There's layers of the underground tiers of industrial underground hip hop that I can get into. Death Grips is not part of that. I'll tell you that. Overall, like I was alluding to, Fantano would have a hard time choosing between The Money Store and the one that's the clear obvious pick, and that is up top left, and that's Kendrick Lamar's official debut major label album. Good Kid, Mad City. All praise to this album. One of the best albums of all time, let alone this decade and year. So yeah, Good Kid, Mad City. Love playing it. Kendrick really made me look into lyrics a bit more at that time that time I was in college. So yeah, classic album. I have the vinyl right here. So yep, 2013. Where were you? College again. Anyway, this is a really strong year. Now I look at it more. Earl Sweatshirt's Doris, Kanye West Yeezus. I was never a huge fan of that album. It grew on me over time, like a couple others, like his other experimental work. Anyway, Ask the Rapper, Chance the Rapper, again, a strong mixtape. Drake's Nothing Was the Same. Long Live ASAP, great. My Name Is My Name, great. Marshmallows LP2, wasn't really a fan of. And again, this is kind of the beginning of Eminem's discography decline. Watching Movies with the Sound Off by Mac Miller, R.I.P. to him. Magna Carta Holy Grail. A lot of these albums I like a lot of these. Old by Danny Brown. Again, I didn't get into Danny Brown until later on. J. Cole's Born Center, a great sophomore album as well. A$AP Ferg's Trap Lord. There's a lot of good. I'm reading off literally every album here. 2 Chainz. No. Run the Jewels 1. That's a great album too. And of course, like how can I forget Wally's The Gifted and Donald Glover, Childish Gambino's Because of the Internet. A great crop of albums. However you feel about Big Sean, Hall of Fame's in there, but I'm not considering that as a runner-up. To me, a runner-up in this case would be, man, this is actually, I actually have to think about this one a little bit. In my head, I was thinking 1 or 2 albums, but now we have a big race here between Nothing Was the Same as would be on my board. My Name Is My Name would be here too. I really like watching Movies with the Sound Off, one of Mac Miller's better albums. Because the internet's also looking at me right there. Don Glover's just staring at me. I'm gonna go with, and this may shock people that know me, but honestly, if you think about how this affected the landscape of hip hop moving forward, and no, it's not Yeezus. I'm going with Run the Jewels, their debut record together, LP, and Killer Mike. This album was experimental. Again, the element of industrial hip hop. And just the rawness, pause I guess, of those 2 rappers going back and forth. Yeah, Run the Jewels 1 is and this is and also good a formula for the rest of LPM Killer Mike's work to come with Run the Jewels. It's a great album. It put him on the map as one of the better underground, middle ground hip hop duos to ever exist. One of the best hip hop duos to ever exist, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Run the Jewels. Runner-ups being a lot of them. Nothing Was the Same, Doris, watch a movie with the sound off, My Name Is My Name, and Because of the Internet, I was considering Because of the Internet too. I just really like what Childish Gambino was able to accomplish on that record. But I'm going to go with Run the Jewels. Can't forget about old. So many runner-ups. Just you heard the ones I named. You heard the ones I named. Yeah, Run the Jewels is going to be my pick for 2013. It doesn't get easier. 2014. This is a great year for hip hop. I already knew it kind of coming in. Oh, I'll plop down. We got Oxymoron, Run the Jewels 2, Pinata, Big Crit's Catalactica. I've not heard all these albums, by the way. Of course, I've not heard all the albums that have been listed here in all these years. Just going on based off what I've heard, my knowledge, and how I feel about its impact on hip hop, and I guess where I was at that year as well. Yeah, so we have YG's, I believe that's his debut album. Yes, it is. My Crazy Life. Isaiah Rashad, this is going to be a sleeper, I think, on this one, is Sylvia Demo. Yeah, it's a great album. Ben Staples' Hell Can Wait. We have Prime. J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Yeah, a lot of good albums here. Nicki Minaj's follow up with The Pink Print. Yeah. Logic's Under Pressure, that's another one. Mac Miller's Faces. Days Before Rodeo by Travis Scott. And actually a good year for mainstream hip hop here. I'm looking at some of these other albums, but yeah, all those albums I just named, Jeezy's Seen It All, the autobiography was good as well. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a 2 album race. I'm just gonna say it. My runner-ups are gonna be Oxymoron. I love that album as much. I love that album so much. I love Schoolboy Q and the bangers on that album. But it's not the best album here. Oxymoron runner-up, Pinata runner-up. I was thinking about putting that one. And I'll go with a third runner-up. Let's see what I can go through on this list. It might be Sylvia Demo. Yeah, DBR is more of a mixtape. Faces really grew on me, though. So, yeah. Faces, Pinata, Oxymoron, runner-ups. Overall, I'm going to go with, again, seems like a basic pick. I'm going to go with J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive. This is, to me, his best album, and I think it's a classic album. I mean, I could speak volumes about, all the albums I'm picking, but I'm picking 2014 Forest Hills Drives for that year. 2015. All right, this is kind of like 2010 here, because there's an obvious juggernaut. That's the word I've been using. There's an obvious pick here, but let's just see our options, right? Let's weigh the options for second place. So we have Vince Staples' Summertime '06. That's a great album. I would have put Dr. Dre's I mean, it's a movie soundtrack, but I wouldn't put it at a high tier in this year. I really like, as an antisocial person, ironically, I really like Earl Sweatshirt's I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. At long last, ASAP. I believe his debut was better, but still great record. Future, arguably Future, a lot of people say this is Future's best work. That's DS2. That's on here as well. Rodeo, can't forget the trap classic, psychedelic trap classic. That did help the shape of that genre, or that subgenre of hip hop for years to come, including up to today. Rodeo, King Push's Darkest Before Dawn, Joey Badass's Before the Cash, Mac Miller's Good AM, Mr. Wonderful, personal favorite of mine, and Mr. Action Bronson, Mr. Wonderful, but it's not the best album this year. And who could forget Drake's What a Time to Be Alive as well. Wale's Album Nothing. I've been praising Wale on this video, but that album doesn't touch those other two, in my opinion. This is not the slime season. I'm saying some quality mixtapes on here, but like in terms of albums, this is not the strongest year that we've gone so far. I mean, there's great albums here up top, but it's not the strongest year we've had. Obviously, you know what I'm picking. It's right there at top left again. It's Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Classic, considered one of the best albums ever. My tier list and rankings for Kendrick Lamar's albums, I won't even spoil it. I'll just say, obviously, you know what the best albums are. But yeah, check out that video way back to see my thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's discography. But this year,
That's by a landslide. It's Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." Again, basic pick, but when something's that good, when something's the best, again, level of greatness, God mode, tough to touch, tough to beat. Oh, and my runner-ups would be Travis Scott's "Rodeo." I just love that sound. Yeah, Travis Scott's "Rodeo." I really like the King Push album, the Pusha T album. And if you're reading this is too, I don't know how I forgot that one. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're reading this is too late, where Drake actually, does something a little bit different. That Rodeo is gonna be my second place though. If you're reading this is too late, and King Push, Darkest Before Dawn, those would be my runner-ups right there. As well as I Don't Like Shit. I Don't Go Outside. 2016, a great year for hip hop. Let's just go through the list. So we have Life of Pablo. We have A Tribe Called Quest. Come back after a long period of time, and after Phife Dawg's death, of course, with We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service. Schoolboy Q's Blank Face, LP, underrated. Another underrated one is The Sun's Tirade by Isaiah Rashad. Definitely a runner-up here, if I'm not picking it. Coloring Book, that won a Grammy. Coloring Book by Chance the Rapper is very good. Almost a Chance the Flower. Speaking of Flower, Jeffrey, Young Thug. This is good. Atrocity Exhibition, a lot of people's favorites. Probably a lot of people's would think this is the best. I kind of forget Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered, which to me, it's good, not great. Obviously, we have it's kind of like the leftovers in the creative process for To Pimp a Butterfly and between To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City. Anyways, let's keep going on. Travis Scott, Birds of the Trap Sing McKnight. Just a favorite of mine. I just love Travis Scott, but it's not the best album here. No Names, Telephone. I haven't heard that one, but I heard good things about No Name. I've heard some music as well. J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only. Can't forget about that. Run the Jewels 3. More Run the Jewels. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm aware of A$AP Rock, but I haven't heard that album. It's just not my style, but it could be great. Of course, we have Drake's Views, and we also have Anderson .Paak's Malibu. Not completely hip hop or completely rap. Still a phenomenal album. Post Malone. No Worries, the Anderson .Paak collab. The first collab with Knowledge and Vince Staples' Prima Donna. Again, I have not heard all these albums, but I'm aware, of course. Who could forget Metro Boomin and Savage Road? At this point, I'm just reading off the names. There's a lot of this year. 2016 is a very good year. Maybe, we'll keep going on with this video, perhaps the best year of this decade. Just in quality alone. Just and quality in every different like subgenre and facet of what type of music you want to listen to. It's tough. You think I know by now. The Sun's Tirade, definitely a runner-up. Life of Pablo, runner-up. I know Chance the Rapper gets a lot of flack, but that's a potential runner-up. That's in the runner-up category as well. There's a lot of runner-ups in this year. Atrocity Exhibition, I know this is like the hip-hop nerd pick right there. But again, I'm not super into Danny Brown, especially at this moment in time. Not super into him. I know he's great, but not super into him. Maybe a hot take. Of course, there's J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only. This is going to be a crazy one. I'm going to throw you for a loop on this one. It's one of my favorites of this year, and I really enjoy. This is a really polished album from this talented gentleman from the West Coast. I'm going to go with Anderson .Paak's Malibu. I think this album is phenomenal. Really does paint the scene of that West Coast smooth, silky smooth style that he has. This ability to sing and rap again, and he's just the way of him being interchangeable with both those styles as well. And it's just really it comes together quite nicely. It's a great album to listen to front to back, honestly. Perhaps no skips on the album. So that's my pick. It's gonna be Anderson .Paak's Malibu. Maybe a hot take there, especially when you have A Tribe Called Quest. We got it from here as well. That's a great album too. That's how can I forget that? That's a runner-up. That's probably the runner-up, but I keep changing my mind. I'm gonna go with Anderson .Paak's Malibu, and it's a good year. If you said that album, you said We Got It From Here, you said The Sun's Tirade. Hell, if you said Atrocity Exhibition, which a lot of people love, I can't disagree there. It's a really good year. This is the best year for hip hop probably in this decade. Let's move on. 2017. Oh, by the way, 2016 was also great because I graduated from college. Anyway, we're in 2017 now. What are we doing? We're going back. Again, old, forgetful, blah, blah, blah. This is also an interesting year for their hip hop. A lot of the mainstream rappers decided to really switch it up and get in their creative experimental bag or to toy with some ideas. For instance, Tyler Creator's Flower Boy, Jay-Z, very mature, exactly how you expect a 40-plus-year-old man dealing with marital problems. That's the album right there, and very mature. Jay-Z's 444. How can we forget Migos? They were so big that year. Not the best album, but gotta give props to Migos. The culture really changed things around in the culture, pop culture at that time. Kendrick Lamar's Damn. Drake's More Life. That's a great album. I think it's maybe his most underrated project. Vince Staples' The Big Fish Theory. That's great. Jid's The Never Story is great as well. That's his debut album, I believe. I know they had DiCaprio 1 too. DiCaprio, at least that came out that time. Love Is Rage too. I wouldn't put it as the best, but shout out to Lil Uzi Vert. Shout out to 2 Chainz, Pretty Girls, like trap music. 21 Savage's debut album, yeah. Without Warning, great collab album, Metro Boomin. So I can forget Sci-Hi the Princess, No Dope on Sundays. Forgot about that one. Underground wise, Sean Price's Imperious Rex is phenomenal in that respect. Logic's Everybody's most mainstream kind of album with the Suicide Hotline song. The album itself, features Hendrix. And it features Future album, so Future had a big year big year this year. Yeah, not the best year that we've gone. Just gotta go back to the top. Oh, Forever is a mighty long time. Big Crit's again, sleeper rapper, underrated lyricist. Oh, and Joey Bass's All American Badass. Like I said, not the best year, pretty good year though. In terms of rappers, trying to separate themselves and do something different, and change up their sound a bit. I feel like a popular pick here would be Damn or 444. Let's just do my runner-ups. You know what? My runner-ups are gonna be Damn, even though if you go back to my Kendrick Lamar album rankings, I don't think Damn is like as great as everyone says it is, but whatever. Hold my feet to the fire there. Runner-ups are gonna be Damn. I do like More Life. I don't know if it's deserves to be runner-up in this case, but All American Badass is a great album. Yeah, why not? Put More Life in there. And let's put Flower Boy in there as well. The albums in the bottom half here just aren't up to par. Yeah, I'm gonna go with in the same vein as I picked Run the Jewels in 2013. I think this album is the best in terms of its impact and significance in the landscape of hip hop. I'm gonna go Jay-Z's 444. This is really an album that this is what as a quintessential okay. A rapper in his, I think, mid-40s at this time, going through his own shit at that time in his life, and how you want to handle that on wax, how you want to handle that on a record, and how you want to present yourself as a rapper in your 40s. This is the album to go to, and that's 444 by Jay-Z. I think one time 50 Cent said, "Oh, it's golf country club music," as a diss. It's a rapper showing growth, and who else better to demonstrate that than a man of wealth and wisdom? That's Jay-Z. So yeah, Jay-Z's 444. I'm gonna pick it for album of that year. 2018, and I said 2016 was the best, and this is the year. If it's not the best, this is definitely the year that competes with it, and that's 2018. What a great year! What a time to be alive, huh? There's a lot of good choices here. We'll start off with Sava's Care for Me. I have to revisit that album. Not gonna lie. Pusha T's Daytona. A lot of praise there. Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy. Look, I know I won a Grammy and shit. That's not a great album. I'm just not a Cardi B fan. Fight me. No. Cardi. She might roofie me. Anyway, Astroworld. Come on, man. World building album, as Travis Scott always does. Great album. DiCaprio 2. Can't forget that. KOD. I think I don't want to reveal all my opinions. I don't think it's the strongest J. Cole album, and nor is it a runner-up here. Who could forget Book of Ryan? Swimming by Mac Miller. This one aged gracefully, especially with his passing. I think passed 2019. Not long after this album's released. R.I.P. Kids See Ghost, one of my personal favorites right there. The Carter's has Gone for Gone, the Beyonce and Jay-Z collab. Some rap songs, low key, underrated, great album. J-Rock's Redemption, Instables FM, Denzel Curry's Taboo, another underground, another hip hop nerd favorite right there, Denzel Curry. Scorpion. I wasn't the biggest Scorpion fan. Definitely a bloated album, and yeah. The Return of Migos the Culture 2. Tana Talk 3 by Benny the Butcher. Great album as well. We also do have, this is kind of the year of up and coming of Griselda, because we have Supreme Blientel by Westside Gunners here as well. People love Playboy Cardi's Die Lit. I'm not putting in the best category. 21 Savage is, I think, by far his best album. Unless American Dream ages better than this. This is the Kanye Jackson Hole. This is the Kanye Wyoming era because we also have Nasir here, which I think is actually a good album. People probably sleep on that one. MF Doom, Czarface, collab right there as well. Who can forget Eminem's Kamikaze going scorched earth on people in the industry after his flop of Revival. Didn't even mention that in the last year. I don't even know if it was even listed. That's how bad the album was. And of course, I just mentioned Kanye West. Yay. His stretch of 7-track albums was pretty good. And the Carter 5. And Nipsey. Like I said, this is a stacked year. We have Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap. A lot of good to great albums in here. Carter 5. I think it's the worst Carter. I'm not gonna lie to you. And in terms of the pop, we have Post Malone's Beer Bongs and Bentleys and Black Panther soundtrack. I'm just reading off names here at this point. We could get Black Thought. There's too many. There's this. It's this or 2016 are the 2 best years of this decade. Take me back. This is one of those ones where best and favorite are gonna collide with each other because there's 3 albums right here, right in my face, that are competing for the best album, and that's Astroworld, Daytona, and Kids See Ghosts. This is hard. I gotta remove my bias because I'm a big Ye fan and a big Kid Cudi fan, and them colliding together was like I was like in fucking heaven listening to songs like Reborn. But I'll put my favoritism aside. I gotta pick what I think is the best album here. I might get flack for this one, but I'm just thinking overall, also because it's more than 7 songs. That's gonna help its case, and that's gonna be Astroworld by Travis Scott. I'm gonna go with Travis Scott's Astroworld. Daytona, bar for bar. I mean, Daytona is a phenomenal album. Talk about all killer, no filler. But we're talking about not just rap, talking about hip hop and just the sound in general. Travis Scott just has a way of building a world, a concept within the album. Just takes your mind and just puts your ears in like on a roller coaster, literally here in Astroworld. So I'm picking again that favoritism and best kind of collide with each other here. This is such a great year for albums. There's probably like 5 or 6 albums here. You'd be like, this is the best album. Like, yeah, I wouldn't fight you on it. Like swimming. So many albums here. I'm gonna go with it. Astroworld though. Shout out to Travis Scott. He deserves some awards, right? And now with the final year in this decade, 2010s decade, 2019. I already know where I'm going with it. But let's keep going. I know a lot of you hip hop nerds and a lot of you like reviewers. You would probably pick Igor, but let's keep in mind it's an R&B album. It's a good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have my reservations about Tyler the Creator, but I do appreciate Igor for what it is. It's a great album. Again, more R&B. I'm not picking it anyway, but it's just to throw that aside. But it's an R&B album, that's why. The Babies, whatever. This was his year. He got big this year, but yeah. Denzel Curry's Zoo, Young Thug, So Much Fun. We have Danny Brown's, You Know What I'm Saying. Maybe one of his. He has a lot of great. I'm not saying it's a bad project. It's probably one of his worst projects right there. Maybe his worst, but still not bad. Lost Boy by Cordae, that's an underrated one right there. Polo G's Die a Legend, if you're into that. Shout out to Polo G. Revenge of the Dreamers, is it 3? Yes, it is. Oh, what would Sheena do? You know what? This may throw a wrench in my pick. I don't know why it says GXFR. It is. Yeah, maybe that's the label. It's the official label name. But it is Griselda's group debut, West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher. That's a great album. That's definitely a runner-up here. I'm just going to say that right now. Probably the runner-up. That's where I first really discovered Griselda's sound. I'm keep going here. This is a bit of a weak year, I'm not going to lie. This is a year for like that industrial underground hip-hop. Not that those are. I'm not saying that's why it's weak. I'm just saying like this will be a year for those albums and those artists to really thrive because I don't see a lot of great mainstream artists or rappers in here. I'm not picking up Hollywood's Leading by Post Malone. I liked it. Earth Gang with Maryland. We also have I didn't know Billy Woods until a few years ago. Shout out to him. I haven't heard Hiding Places, but shout out to him. You see Your Old Droog, another underground guy. Juice WRLD's Death Race for Love. Injury Reserve, another underground kind of industrial flavor hip hop favorite right there. Same thing with JPEG Mafia and Clipping. Kevin Abstract. Yeah, this is a year as I'm scrolling down. This was when you have a year like this where it's like a quiet year for mainstream. That's where the underground artists just gotta take off. And I see a bunch of names here: JPEG Mafia, Clipping, Earth Gang in that realm as well. Future as Wizard. There's Future. There's a mainstream guy right there. And Kanye West had his gospel hip hop album, and Jesus is King. I'm not picking it, even though I'm a big Ye fan. Not picking it here. And Chance the Rapper's The Big Day, or as a lot of people call it, The Big Flop. Yeah. So, anyway, I said enough. I already told you who I'm picking. The runner-ups are gonna be What Would Sheena Do by Griselda. Denzel Curry's Zoo. That's another one right there. I'll put there. I did like the Roddy Ricch album. I'm not gonna, it's really good. Juice WRLD's Death Race for Love is really good as well. The short list of runner-ups is gonna be What Would Sheena Do, Zoo. But ultimately, I'm going with the one I didn't mention on purpose, and that's Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's second collab together. Hopefully, there's a third. Bandana. To me, this was. I've seen them in Griselda. I love Griselda so much, but I can't deny it. I have the vinyl as well. Bandana by this magnificent duo. Freddie Gibbs' rapping ability, superb. Madlib's producing ability as well. They just work together so well, complement each other so well. And I actually think, maybe a hot take, I think Bandana is better than Pinata. I think it's better than their first collab project. So those are my thoughts on that, and that's my pick. Bandana, best hip hop album, 2019. That's all she wrote. That's all I said. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts on each year and what do you think the best album of each year was, and perhaps what do you think the best year of the 2010s decade was. I said earlier it's between these 2016 and 2018. I'm gonna go with 2016. Fantastic year for hip hop. But let me know in the comment section your thoughts. What do you think of the best albums? Your picks. Let me know what you think about my picks. Let me know your feedback and shit. All that other shit. Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Please do so, so you can help me feed my family, aka myself. That'll be fun. All right, these are my thoughts, my picks, what I think are the best albums. Stay blessed.